Hello everyone, welcome. Rabbi Abe here. I'm very excited. We're back going into Scorpio in the not too distant future. I would like to prepare everybody with some forbidden wisdom that was revealed. It was revealed almost 100 years ago, but this wisdom was only permitted to be shared with, let's say, the general population only as of 250 years ago. Not really the general population, but people who were more in the know. And of course, I'm talking about the deeper secrets of the Kabbalah, which we're going to get into with regard to Scorpio. Why is Scorpio the most powerful sign of the Zodiac, and how it affects all of us during the month of Scorpio? Whether you are a Scorpio or not, it will affect you, and especially the Scorpios. And before we get into it, please, as always, I appreciate all of you who have supported the channel recently and in the past. It helps us get the wisdom and this light, which can help bring fulfillment and blessing and an end, ultimately, to pain, chaos, and suffering in humanity. So the more we are able to spread this wisdom, the more we'll be able to remove this chaos, pain, and suffering from the planet. That's what we want to do. We want to get this wisdom out there. And that's according to the Kabbalists. So any support you can, on the YouTube channel or on the website at rabbieabe.com, please feel free to do so. As well, there will be downloads of special meditations for the month of Scorpio available for free in the download section at rabbieabe.com. Again, many of you ask, how do I download it? You just need to create a free account. It's called SkyPilot. Just put your information there, and you have access to the downloads there, and meditations and many, many things. Okay. So Scorpio is known probably by anyone in the Zodiac. Everyone knows Scorpio. Why is Scorpio so revered and so even feared sometimes among many people? And in order to understand this really from the inside out, again, I need to share some secrets with you, some of the deeper studyings of the teachings. I'll try to make it as simple as possible. This is from the study which is called the 10 Luminous Emanations, Talmud SS Sefirot. And this really gets into the inner understanding of the tree of life and how things function, how fulfillment functions. There's a mechanism, there's formulas. It's been concealed from humanity, unfortunately, for thousands of years. And only relatively recently we have access to it. And then there are a handful of Kabbalists who have, been through and understand the study. And I had the privilege and the good merit to study with my teacher, who went through the entire study with his teacher through an unbroken lineage of Kabbalists dating back to Moses, believe it or not. So let me share this with you. And it's from, for those who may have this, which I doubt, but in any event, I'm reading from page 2 with regard to what he talks about. It's paragraph 5, and I'll read and I will explain, all right? He says, there is a spiritual light which is given a very particular name, a spiritual light, in fact, two. There are two types of light or energy in every complete structure. Now, what is a structure? A structure, let's look at a structure as any set of desires you have. You want to have breakfast? That already sets into motion a structure of desires. Meaning, you got to get up, you got to maybe wash up, you got to go to the kitchen, you got to go to wherever you're going to have your breakfast, to the cafe, and there's a lot of things that perhaps you need to do in order to get to the end, which is ultimately having your breakfast or sitting at the table and so on. So he says there are two types of light associated with a complete structure. Again, complete structure means a set of desires, and it also means permanency in receiving. That's very important. Permanency in receiving, because most of what we receive in life is not permanent. It goes away. It's temporary in nature, and then we need something else to gratify us, to fulfill us, and so on. The Kabbalists are explaining that permanency and fulfillment means you become fulfilled from whatever is going to fulfill you, and it stays with you, and it gets better, and there's blessing associated with that fulfillment, means it's connected to other things as well. So it's not limited to it. I mean, it would be crazy to say that the pizza that you ate, Sunday is going to help you with the business deal Tuesday, but when there's blessing in what you do, this energy is connected to every other energy, because we really cannot separate energy from energy. We do, however, separate it in our mind, because if all I want from that pizza is, it's delicious, it's yummy, and that's all I want from the pizza, guess what? That's all I'm going to get from the pizza. Okay, but we can get much, much more. Much, much more. Again, these are secrets that the Kabbalists revealed millennia ago, which was, again, only open, the beginning of the opening. I can't even say that it was open. Only about 250 years ago, a decree was lifted that people could begin. But again, it's not only until very recently that these secrets are available from those who know how, understand them, and can relay them. And so, two types of light. What are these two types of light? Or the chokhmah, the light of wisdom, the light of wisdom. Ve'or chasadim, and the light of mercy. Now these are code names, the light of wisdom and the light of mercy. What do they mean? Or the chokhmah hu b'chinat atzmut shel haparzuf. The light of wisdom, what is it really? This is fulfillment. Any fulfillment. It's the fulfillment which comes directly from the force of the Creator, the godly force, and that's what fulfills us. You want to have fun? Fun is a godly force. You want security in your life? Security is a godly force. You want to be happy? Happiness is a godly force. Light of wisdom. You want to be loved? Love is a godly force. It's called the light of wisdom. Again, light of wisdom is a code name. You want you want to be free? Freedom is a godly force called the light of wisdom. So this light of wisdom is energy that comes directly, and I'm saying this for a reason. It's important you understand this. Directly from the Creator. Has nothing to do with us. We capture this. Our job is to be able to capture this light of wisdom, but there's a mechanism through which it's done. But because why is most of what we receive in our life short-lived? He tells us, he gives us the secret. Why is the tendency of gratification short? So this light of wisdom is the essence. It's the vitality. It's the motivating factor of any desire we have. That's what motivates us. Something's got to motivate us, right? It's this light, this godly force of the light of wisdom that makes us move, that makes us desire it. Desire it. You want new shoes? You think you're going to look great in them? Light of wisdom. It's driving you to go to the mall. So like this, you thought you woke up in the morning and you want new shoes, and because you had a desire, you're going to the mall. No, no. The Kabbalists are saying, guess what? It's really the other way around. The shoes, the force, the godly force of comfort or beauty or whatever it is that you want from those shoes, awakened your desire to have them. Guess what? The shoes bought you, and they called you, and they said, come to the mall right now and buy me. Yes. And it's the same with everything, relationships, and you name it. The fulfillment comes first. The desire comes only as an awakening from the fulfillment that I would like to receive from that. But the fulfillment itself, again, light of wisdom, is a godly force. It's the force of fulfillment in anything. So that's the first type of light that he talks about. There's two types of light. And again, this is only so that we can understand Scorpio, if you can imagine. Okay. Why Scorpio is so powerful? Or the Chasadim, the light of mercy, remember we said two types of light. This other light is called the light of mercy or the light of sharing. We could use, different names for it. Sharing, investment, it could be resistance, could be, technically it's called the light of mercy. What is this light of mercy? Light of mercy is the energy that comes from us, in essence. It comes from us that we invest into the accomplishment of the light of wisdom. In other words, so if in that breakfast that I want to be fulfilled with breakfast, I need to, get up and go to the fridge and go to the stove and make the eggs and so on and so on. All the process in between the fulfillment that I want until achieving it, till I'm sitting at my table and eating my breakfast, or till I'm already at the mall and I just bought my shoes or anything. The process in between and all the desires, unconscious desires, in fact, as well, that need to be fulfilled in order for me to accomplish the ultimate fulfillment that I wanted, that's called light of mercy. Again, we call it an investment of energy. In other words, we need to do something. We have to make the effort. It's effort, it's sharing, it's investment of energy. All of that is called the light of mercy. And he says, this light of wisdom cannot be manifest unless it wears or it's clothed by the light of mercy first. In a very short way of saying this, in a very short and practical way, it says, if you don't work for it, if you don't go through a process, what we call a creative process to get there, you can't ever really enjoy the fulfillment that you get. And even if you get some kind of fulfillment, if it came without a process, listen closely, if it came without a process, you will not keep it. It will go away. That's a secret. It will go away. Now, it's no secret that things tend to go away. But why? Why? I mean, this is telling us why. This secret is telling us why things go away. Why most fulfillments don't really last. Because they're incomplete. They must contain these two levels of energy called the light of wisdom and the light of mercy together. If one is missing, if the light of mercy is missing, if the process, the effort, the investment is missing, that fulfillment, we won't even call it fulfillment. It'll be maybe some sort of gratification. It won't last. It'll be short-lived. By the way, short-lived can be, not even time-bound. but it will go away slowly or quickly. It won't last. I'll need to, do something else now to feel good again. The opposite is also true, they tell us. When he says, when the vessel, when we, sometimes we make a lot of effort, a lot of investment, a lot of input that we put, but we don't have a goal. And if we don't have a goal, there's nothing directly motivating our desire for it. We'll be like the hamster in the wheel, if you've ever seen. The hamster, he's going really fast, and he's not going anywhere. We'll feel like we're putting a lot of energy in, and I don't feel like I'm getting anything out. Maybe people take advantage of me, maybe a lot of things, but it doesn't end up working out. I'm not getting anywhere. It's almost like, you put in your GPS somewhere. Can you get somewhere? No, you need a destination. Otherwise, you're going to be driving for a very long time and you're not going to be getting anywhere. So, okay, 2 types of light. I hope it's clear. If not, go back, re-listen to this section. It's important to understand not only life, but the sign of Scorpio. Why? Light of wisdom. It's a direct light from the creator force. Direct energy, direct fulfillment. It's the energy of fulfillment. That doesn't mean it's fulfilling on its own. It must be housed in the vessel that we call the light of mercy, the effort, the energy, and so on. Scorpio. Well, what is Scorpio? And the Kabbalists tell us that we know, of course, Scorpio is ruled by planet Mars. And Mars is known as a war planet. Why is that? Red planet, war planet. In fact, it's interesting. The letters, according to the Book of Formation by Abraham, that's 4,000-year-old wisdom, says that this planet, Mars, it's associated with blood. Again, red. Now, red, there are meaning to colors in the Kabbalah, is big desire. Big desire. Doesn't mean selfish desire necessarily, but it could be. Okay? Could be. But doesn't mean. It is the essence of desire itself. And, that's why blood has a big desire for oxygen, but it carries it and shares it around the body. So obviously that's important, right? But why war? Why war? And Aries is also ruled by Mars, right? Ma'adim in Hebrew, ma'adim. And the word ma'adim, Mars, also has blood in it, dam, blood. So, okay, why is that important? Why is that important? Now, as well, the letter Dalet, which we'll put up here, Dalet is the letter which is controlling Mars. We know the letters, as we've said often in my videos, the letters are energetic forces behind the constellation, the planets and constellations and so on. Dalet in Hebrew means poorness. Poor, dal. Poor means there's a lack. There's some lack over there. Okay? There's a lack. And Nun, which is the constellation of Scorpio, Nun represents Nefilah in Hebrew, which means falling down. Now, not physically necessarily, but spiritual falling. Now, when we put these 2 letters together, we get Dan or Din. That spells judgment. Does that ring any bells? Judgment? Have you ever known a Scorpio to be judgmental? No, of course not. Not the Scorpions who watch my channel. But sometimes it's been known that they can judge. What is judgment? Let's think about this. What is judgment spiritually? And is it a bad thing? You know, I put out a video, I think it was last year, saying you should judge. But it's how you judge. Judge always, as the Kabbalists explain, to the merit of a person, not to the detriment of a person. Meaning, judge always to the positive, not to the negative. You see someone doing something wrong, judge them in a positive way. Meaning what? Make an excuse for them. Why? We make excuses for ourselves all the time, especially when we know we've done something wrong. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, there was traffic. That's why I was late. You know, we're full of excuses. We'll justify our behavior from now till next Tuesday. No problem about it. But when it comes to other people, we don't have a lot of mercy, okay? And that's mercy. That's a clue. Light of mercy. We don't have a lot of mercy for other people's mistakes, necessarily. What does this have to do with Scorpio? Well, Scorpio is the most powerful sign of the Zodiac. Why? And in one of the other videos, we talked about fire and ice. Fire and ice, which is a hallmark of Scorpio. Why? Because Scorpio in Hebrew is akrab. Akrab. That's the scorpion. 4 letters. Ayin, Kuf, Resh, Bet. Or A-K-R, and in English, A-V. Akrab. The 2 letters on the end, A and B, or V, or Ayin and Bet, are, according to the Kabbalah, 72. Now, if you notice behind me, there's a picture of what? 72 names. And if you haven't seen that video, go back on my channel. I can put a link to it in the description box. And it's the 72 names. What are the 72 names of God? That's what they're called, 72 names of God. It's the totality of different components which make up what is called the light of wisdom. Yes, the light of wisdom. So Scorpio contains in it, within it, the light of wisdom, which means the direct energy of the Creator's force. Some aspect of direct energy. Direct energy. And key word is in direct. Why is direct? Is that a good thing? Is direct good? Not necessarily. Why? I mean, it sounds great, doesn't it? Direct energy. Don't we want direct energy? No, we don't. Why? Because direct energy burns. Direct energy is too strong. Direct energy is too much. We're not built for it. We can receive energy through a vessel, through what we call what? The light of mercy. It's the spiritual vessel or clothing that enables us to use that light that comes directly from the Creator. But that energy itself is too strong. You know, what might be a little example of that? Well, you know, instant gratification is amazing, isn't it? Don't you think it's all amazing? One problem with instant gratification, mark my words, check it, make sure I'm right, it will never last. If it's instant gratification, it will never last. Why not? Because it has no vessel. It's great, it doesn't last, and after it leaves some kind of leftover, which is not a positive thing. It will leave a barrier. It will leave a little bit of a blockage because I will need more to fulfill the lack that it left over. And I can't get too much now into detail in this video. It's going to be just way too long. But instant gratification is never good for anybody. Not good for me, not good for you, not good for the planet, not good for anybody. It's a high which will lead to a low and a blockage, big or small. Always. That's the rule. Cosmic rule, hidden wisdom. So we have to understand that. That is a process, because there is a creative process. That's why we're here. We're here for a creative process. We are not here, and we don't have the capability to receive direct energy. So this iron bet of Scorpio, the AB or AV, is light of wisdom. It's direct energy. And so that means what? Scorpio has the ability to use direct energy. And yeah, they can finish people. You're a Scorpio, you know that. They can finish people. If you're not a Scorpio, in the month of Scorpio, you will become a Scorpio. And, simple as that. We will pick up the same traits. That's what happens every month. Not only that, the letters in the middle, Kar, Kuf and Resh, or K-A-R, Kar in Hebrew means cold. So we have direct energy on the outside and cold in the inside. Cold in the inside. Now, which is it? Is it cold or is it a burning fire? Because the iron bet is direct light. It's fire. It's the fire of God. And the inside is cold. All of these don't sound that good as ingredients for success. And they are not unless they are coupled with mercy, sharing, investment of energy, not operating in a direct way, which is hard for Scorpio. In other words, not firing my cannon directly at you, not telling you directly the truth all the time, because the truth can hurt. Why does the truth hurt? Because it can be painful. Maybe that person's not ready. I need to have more mercy and give them softly, sugarcoat it a little bit. You think the Creator tells us exactly what we need to do, when we need to do it? No, it doesn't work that way. In a certain kind of way, the Creator kind of, sugarcoats it in a way that we can handle, we can take it. That's why, however, Scorpios can burn people very easily. On the other hand, Scorpio, who uses the light of mercy, uses sharing, uses investment of energy, uses what we call resistance with their energy. That's how you build muscle, right? You do resistance training. A Scorpio who uses that will be, without question, the most powerful individual in the group. In a positive way. The most productive, the most creative, the most influential. Because that's what Scorpio is. That's what it was meant to be. Not meant to be just finish. It's interesting. In the Zohar, one of the main source texts of the Kabbalah, it says that the author of the Zohar, who's named Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, he was in a cave for 12 years and then an additional year. He learnt in a cave himself and his son Rab Elazar from Elijah the prophet and Moses, who came twice a day for a total of 13 years. And they taught him all the secrets of the universe, which is the Zohar. But after 12 years, he came out of the cave with his son, and Rabbi Shimon saw, and this is what it says in the Zohar, he saw a man plowing. He couldn't understand it. He couldn't understand all the secrets of the universe, and you're plowing the field. I mean, he couldn't get it because he was so out there. He was full of fire. It says he merely gazed upon that man and he turned into a pile of bones. Not because he wanted to hurt him. It's simply that was his energy. So they sent him back into the cave for an additional year, to have the energy of the light of mercy so that it would be balanced. Because, again, we all tend to burn people, right? We might change our life, it might take us several years, we change our life, and all of a sudden we begin to judge everybody else who's still the same, right? I'm spiritual, how come you're not? No, that's not the way to go. So Scorpio has this power available to them. And that's why they have the capability to be the most powerful. They are innately the most powerful sign of the Zodiac. And the ability to use that energy, that strength, one condition. It must be coupled with what we call the light of mercy. There needs to be mercy. There needs to be sharing. There needs to be resistance injected in every interaction. And with that light will manifest in incredible ways. Now, of course, those of you Scorpios who know this secret will do it. And you do it. But those of us who do not understand this and use our energy in a direct way, and that's what happens when we get angry, we get jealous, we get any extreme emotions. There's a lack of mercy. We just don't know. We just don't understand the secret of what's going on, or how it works. Because there's a mechanism to this. There's a mechanism in the creative process for everything. So, having said all that, I want to wish happy Scorpio to not only all the Scorpios, to all of us. The secret that Abraham the patriarch, the secret name that he gave this month, it's two names. Mar Cheshvan, bitter Scorpio, bitter Cheshvan, which is the Hebrew month of Scorpio. But the Kabbalah said we reverse it to Ram Cheshvan, which means exalted Scorpio, which means it is what it is according to nature. We take it and we inject the light of mercy and we elevate it so that it will act for us. One of the most powerful months. I love the month of Scorpio because it tells you the absolute truth of what you need to do in your life. So be paying attention. If you made it this far into the video, remember, you got to pay attention. That's the best thing you can do in the month of Scorpio is pay attention. Remember, download the meditations that we have at rabbieabe.com, and you'll be able to draw down all the benefit of the month of Scorpio. And many blessings, and I will see you very soon on the next video, guys. All the best and lots of love.